Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. I am your host, Tiffany Cohen, and get those seatbelts on, honey, because we have an amazing guest for you today. And especially if you are in a healing capacity, you are going to want to turn up the volume, get yourself settled in, and listen up because we have Sandy Guarnotta here with us today. She is one of my mentors. I look up to her so much, and she has taught me so much about just cosmic realms and healing and so much. And I can't wait to bring her to you today. So here we go. Welcome to the podcast, Sandy.
That was quite the buildup. I'm hoping to live up to it. Hi, everybody. As Tiffany just said, I'm Sandy Guarnotta of Soul Alchemy and Ascension, and appreciate the kind words. I'm happy to be here. And yeah, I want to talk about healing and healers and how you get into healing and how you become a medical intuitive and all sorts of stuff like that. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I was born with a gift, as we all are, and it was activated pretty early for me. And when I was younger, I became very much aware of existing beyond my five senses, truly living that way. A little bit difficult as a child, of course, because you're so different. And your parents, oh no, don't do that out in public, and don't know, people are going to think there's something wrong with you, and which is one of the reasons why I love working with children and parents and encouraging the parents to encourage their children to truly live in the gift earlier on. I don't really like titles, but if you want me to use titles, psychic, medium, medical, intuitive, healer, I mean, I'm a channel. I mean, I do it all. I literally do it all. And one of the main things I do, and Tiffany has just mentioned, is mentoring. One of the main things I do is help people. It's my job to channel cosmic energies, to channel all on the other side, to travel in between dimensions, and to teach everyone how to do that. Because the one thing everyone needs to know is that they all have that gift and you're all born with it. It's innate. It is our birthright as a soul inhabiting a human design. It's not the other way around. We're not a human that has this thing that's a soul we don't understand. And truly, our soul energy is what guides us, what navigates our purpose, and is what we should be listening to at all times. And when I mean listening, I don't mean just auditory, I mean sentient, telepathically, cognizantly. And those are the things I teach people to do, how to open up to beyond those five senses, how to truly understand when their soul is speaking to them, which is at all times, and how to live in simultaneous energy in listening to your soul while also living your human existence. Understanding soul contracts. One of the things I do want to talk about today is healing. All of us have, and I start everywhere I speak, I start with certain facts, and one of them happens to be we all have the capacity to heal ourselves. I've done it. I was diagnosed with disease. I've healed myself, no traditional medical intervention, because I was able to hold the space to bring in the energy to alter my cellular structure, which is something that we can all do for ourselves. And we can also work in that kind of energy and that vibration to assist others in holding space for them while they're changing their vibrational energy. Healing, what's healing? Healing is attending to the soul. Healing is navigating the map of the soul. Healing is medically intuiting, using your Merkaba, your inner energy center, to scan your body, your aura, your physical body, your emotional body, and your spiritual body, and to see where the energy is misaligned, and to now bring in healing, whether it's via the other side, whether it's on your own cognition, whether it's from your own Merkaba, to bring in healing, even working with the MAP team, medical assistance program, to those body parts, to the auric fields, to your emotion, where the healing is necessary. It's all about soul contracts, fulfilling those contracts, and learning the life lessons. Because once you don't learn the life lessons that you chose that were predestined, guess what? It turns into dis-ease of self. And that's what really healing is all about. Releasing the emotion, removing the physical toxicity, and bringing in a higher vibration into the self. Okay. That was my spiel.
I love it. It was so good. No, I want to highlight the fact that really throughout this entire, everything that you just said is it's really the empowering factor, empowering yourself, empowering the person to really allow themselves to heal, allow themselves to remember that they can be this channel. That's their innate wisdom, right? It's like we forget along the way, we forget how powerful we are. And this is something that I feel so strongly about, because the more you step into your power, right, as a soulful being, the more that you can do to help the world, help yourself, right? There's so much power that comes with that. So holding space for others, holding space for your own healing is so important. And Sandy and I, talk a lot about like the healing capacity and really how we can go about holding space, because Sandy, wouldn't you say that people generally hold space differently, right? Like we're all healers, but we
Absolutely.
hold space differently, right? So how would you describe that?
So yeah, I mean, yes, you're absolutely right. And a couple of things. So first of all, uh, the capacity to we all have the capacity to hold space. And what that means is kind of suspend time, space, energy, almost like it's encapsulated. It's done through intention, it's done through awareness. But how we hold space is different in the sense that, for instance, every soul has two different goals. Every soul. One goal is the generic goal that we all have, and that is to inhabit a human body, to have the human experience, and to work through soul contracts, i.e., what people call life lessons. That's the generic goal. And that leads to the main goal, ascension. And what does ascension mean? That means that the soul will enter continuously as it works through those contracts and releases emotion and fulfills karmic debt. It will enter higher levels of vibrational energy until it finally enters the highest level here on this plane that is just beneath crossing to the other side. That's ascension. So that is the secondary goal. And how does that happen? Here's where it's individually specific. Every soul is at a different level of ascension in every lifetime. And what changes that level is what you do while you are here, how you react and how you don't react, how the choices that you make, are there choices that are charitable, are there choices living in the highest element of love, are there choices that are in forgiveness? Those choices are in higher vibration, and the more you add that up, one, the soul effect. So what determines literally what happens for you and everything is where you are in the particular moment in a vibrational level in a particular lifetime. So yes, it's individual specific. Absolutely.
Mm. So what we're really leaning into here is, and it's so funny because I just did a podcast episode about this exact thing. It's the choices that you make and how you're either reacting in like a lower vibration way, in an egoic way, or you are responding in a higher vibration frequency, and how that opens up these karmic loops. And I was saying in that podcast episode that the more you choose that higher path, the higher you're ascending, you're feeling lighter, you're opening up karmic loops that are beautiful, that are then the karmic loop is coming back in a beautiful way, not in this lesson, I have to learn a lesson type of way, right? So it's like opening up and allowing yourself to truly, yeah, like you said, ascend higher. And as you ascend higher, my belief, Sandy, and tell me if you agree, is that you can hold a higher vibration frequency for yourself, but then also for others. So you walk into, let's say, a healing capacity, whether you're a Reiki healer or IET, or like me, Spinal Energetics, right? Like you can walk into it and you're already able to hold all of this because you're working through all of your own stuff, right? You're working through all your own shadow, releasing those lower vibration frequencies and emotions and stuck energy. And then you can hold that higher frequency for others as well. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, perfect example. So, as I said, everyone, it's your innate gift to function this way, to be a healer, to be a master, to be a channel. So why am I at this highest level of attention that I am right now in this time space reality, as opposed to, when I was 3 or 10? Because I could not hold space for energy that I was not aware of. And I could not be aware of that energy because I was in a lower vibration, still working through human experiences. It's almost like it's catch 22. However, at some point, when you change your reaction and you're changing your energy, when you're melding with something in a different way, for instance, when you're diagnosed with a disease or an illness, how you react, your choice to that is going to change the energy and how quickly you will heal. What happens is, if you are someone who takes it in a way where, oh my God, this is horrific, I'm not going to heal, I'm going to die, you are setting that intention and you are literally living in that lower vibrational energy, which is depression and sadness and lack of hope. If your attitude towards it is so different, like it was when I was told, hey, get ready, you're checking out, I was like, no, I'm not accepting that. I refuse to accept it. I do not believe that this is my destiny. That attitude, that reaction, that energetic interaction was with the intention of, no, I will heal. I will not continue in a state of disease. Completely different. That will navigate where the soul will go next. Look, destiny is destiny. We can't change destiny. If your destiny is that you're supposed to die a certain way, a certain time, then it will be that way. However, holding space means we literally can change the intensity of the disorder, the time frame in which it commences, how long the duration of it. All of that can be altered with intention, with higher vibration when we ascend into it.
Mm. That's so interesting, right? When you really think about it and sit back and focus on the person's journey. There's actually a really great book called Lady of the Lake Rise, and she talks about her journey through breast cancer and how she did the same thing as you, Sandy. She said, like, this wasn't going to be my destiny, right? And she knew it, but she had so much to heal from, and going on that path really allowed her to like open up and clear so much. So it's like you said, there's this destiny of when it's your time, it's your time. But I feel like, would you say it's true that that can be accelerated if you don't live into, like, if you have this dis-ease and you choose opposite, you choose not to go in that high vibration frequency?
Yes, again, destiny won't change, but duration, intensity, yes, all of those other variables can change. We're talking about healers, and there's a lot of us out there that are practicing as a healer in some capacity. But here's the one thing that you just hit upon, and you're absolutely right. I could not do what I'm doing today had I not awakened to an awareness, my own awareness of all that I had to work through. And there was quite a bit, absolutely. And I'm not saying I'm done. I sure have a lot more to go. But when you're in a higher state of energy because you've actually released, then your capabilities are strengthened. They've been there all along, but now you're functioning in awareness of them and in trust of the other side and in belief of yourself. So then the healer becomes not just a healer. The healer becomes a teacher, becomes a master, becomes a healer, because they're in recognition that I do have this gift and I can, as long as I remain humble and as long as I stay, that I'm not in ego. And it is my intent to serve in the highest good, to know that whatever is supposed to happen will be created or orchestrated by the other side. And I am simply a vehicle of that to come into its fruition. So healers, I think what happens for a lot of healers, and I'm not, dismissing this in any way. I'm going to take this course, I'm going to take that course, and all of that's great. I mean, look, I teach courses too. I teach medical intuition. All of that's great. I know Tiffany teaches stuff. It's great. But where it's got to come from is within you. And that means you have to have had the calling that this is what my soul is directing me towards. You have had to become aware of that where you're being directed. You have to then accept that it is your path. And you have to then, at that point, truly, truly start to assimilate that into your life. These are the things that I'm going to do to make sure I get there so I can become that healer. And that assimilation is a recognition of everything that you have done to lead you up to that moment. When someone's on your table or you're working on someone remotely, it's not necessarily about all of the training. That's wonderful and it helps. But what it's really all about is what have you done, you, the person, to know your soul in its completeness? That's what it's all about. That allows you to function as a healer and hold space for another.
Ooh, I just got chills. I just got chills when you said that because I think that there are so many people out there that do take all the courses and it's like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And they take all the things. And then what are we doing with them? Are we using them? Are you using them, right? Are you just shiny object syndrome, right? Is it sound cool, caught your interest for a minute, or is it something that is truly soul led, right? And then once you get all of those accreditations and certifications and all of these things and you have all this knowledge, how are you using it for yourself? Right. And I
Yeah.
think that we always are people, what we're going to do with this and how we're going to help others, but you can't help someone else if you're not doing your own work. And I want everybody at home to kind of sit and think about this for a minute. I am quite sure that you've had experiences with multiple different healers, right? And you can tell the difference between someone who is holding energy at a nice pace for you and someone that's holding it in a really high capacity. And I can guarantee you that the person that's holding it in a super high capacity is the person that is consistently working on themselves to release so that they can hold that space in a higher vibration for you. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's what it comes down to, literally. Each one of us was truly born to serve. And what that means is to live here in the capacity of energy that exists on the other side. And so what my job, my responsibility is to become a connection for someone so that I can bring them into awareness of their own soul's energy and connect them with the other side. In that connection, what happens is I will channel for them. I will bring forth energy and all sorts of energy for them until they're able to do all of this themselves. The key, the absolute key, there are two things. One is they have to meditate every day because that is your portal to the other side. Absolutely. And two, you have to feel worthy. You have to understand that we are creating in the same energy as the universe, and we are worthy to function in complete ascension. And so, my job is to get you there, to know that, to understand it, and to become one with all. Beyond that, that's your sole purpose. You have ascended into it. And so as someone who, functioned in a healing capacity, that's what I'm literally doing for someone. Yes, there's psychic surgery, and yes, there's divinational tools, and yes, do I do all of that? That's just a part of me connecting you with your creator, with the universal energy. which is the ultimate goal for every soul. And that can only happen when someone is brought into awareness, which is where I'm channeling the information so that you're aware of what you need to work on. Why do you not trust what you receive? Why aren't you receiving and believing it? Why do you not trust that you are worthy of this connection and of healing yourself and all others? Why? That's where everyone needs to go. And in almost every single mentoring session I do, and I've done so many, it's always about that. Someone doesn't believe, someone fears, and that's what prevents them from becoming a psychic, from becoming the medium, from being the medical intuitive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You and I function the same way. We're in this realm. And trust me, basically, the other side said to me, you will read nothing, you will get no certificates. I don't have any certificates. I'm not a Reiki master. I'm none of that. I literally do exactly what they tell me. And when I'm working on people, they're guiding me. It's like I'm doing the surgery, but they're telling me everything I have to do. And that's how we all should function. All of those certificates are incredibly helpful and they're divinational tools, and they get you the self-esteem to be ready to work with them. That's
Mm.
what it's all about.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it gives you that self-esteem of something that you already know innately. It's funny because with spinal energetics, the first time I ever saw that, I was like, something just fell into like my being, and it was just like, you already know how to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? I do. All right, let's go. And I was drawn to it, and the journey there to actually learn it and have that certificate was, it took a lot of research and finding and all of the things. And when I got there, I knew how to do it, right? Like I didn't doubt what I received. And I think that's, Sandy, the biggest thing that I mean, this is in any capacity,
What,
people just doubt
what,
themselves.
absolutely. I mean, what certificates, training and certificates and classes, okay, what they do for us literally is just validate for us the cliche, you've come with everything you need. The answers are all within. So an external source, a class, even I teach classes too, right? You do, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That we're an external source of validation that allows you to get to the point where, as you did, oh, I knew this. I've done this before. Last lifetime, 100 lifetimes ago, whenever it was. That's where someone's awareness actually comes in. Yeah. And then once you open that portal, that you now have the awareness and there's that innate soul mapping and you now have access to it, there are no boundaries as to where you go. Because then you're truly functioning as a soul on a path of ascension
Mm.
and in purpose.
Yeah, it's like when you're sitting in these classes and getting the certifications, which again, they're a necessary part of it, right? But it's like you're turning that light on, that light
Yes.
code on for them. Like, okay, she remembers. Let's
Yes. Yes.
go. Right. And then now it's, as you remember, it's finding it within yourself to not doubt what you are getting. And I think that's the biggest thing, because doubt comes in when you hear something and it's in your own voice, right? It's like the voice of the mind sometimes, but you're getting it and you're like, well, wait a second, was that my voice? I didn't know if I should believe it. I hear that so many times. I'm like, believe it. I don't know if it's my own mind. Was it forceful? Was it quiet? Quiet. Believe it.
Absolutely. I mean, you know my mantra, receive, believe, deliver. That's it. Receive, believe. So I tell everybody, I said that there are two statements I make before I speak. One was, you can heal yourself. Here's my other statement. There is no difference between me and anyone that sits before me. The only thing is your fear and your doubt prevent you from doing what I do. That's it. Bottom line. Two statements I make everywhere I speak. And everyone's like, huh? And I'm like, yes, let me illuminate your fears and doubts and let's release them.
Oh, let me illuminate your fears and doubts. I love that statement. So, at home right now, as you're sitting listening to this, what fears and doubts can be illuminated right now? Like, what's coming up for you in this moment as we're talking about this, right? Are you doubting what you're receiving? Right? I actually just got this message. It's funny, in a meditation the other day, that was the more you doubt, the more you set yourself back. And I was like, okay, like understood, right? And I really don't have so much doubt, especially with what I'm receiving. I don't doubt that. I just go. But, if there's any of that doubt that is coming through for you, know that you're setting yourself back, right? In what you want to do. We all have, like Sandy said, we all have soul purpose. What is that soul purpose for you? And know that every time you doubt yourself, you're holding yourself back from your soul purpose. We're all meant to hold space for one another. We're all meant to give to this world, and you are dimming your light the more that you doubt yourself. And I know you may have programming around why you doubt yourself and all those things, but are you doing the work to let it go? Right? And that's going to be the difference
Absolutely.
between the healer that's holding that big space, like Sandy. My goodness, if you've ever seen Sandy in action, like the way that she holds space is like no other. Like because she doesn't doubt anything she's getting, she just listens and does, right? Like the healing that I've seen occur before my eyes from Sandy, it's on another level, right? It's truly on another level. Like what goes on in Sandy's classes is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's incredible, especially the retreats and everything, the things I've seen. Like it's so beautiful to watch. It's so beautiful to see that. And I know that capacity and that ability it's available to you at home listening, right? You have to allow yourself to do it the way that Sandy has, the way that I have. It's allowing. And then also, then there is these beautiful things that the universe and that our guides and teams, they teach us. And Sandy, I would like for you to talk a little bit about that, that they teach us in order to continue to hold space and help to release for others the way that you're being guided to. So can you talk about like your team and what is a map team and things like that so people can
Yeah,
follow along?
sure. Yeah. And again, I thank you so much for your kind words. Yeah, absolutely. So, step number one is this. Step number one is you have to believe what you're receiving, whether it's clairsentient, clairaudient, telepathic, again, meditation, this is where the reception comes in. The problem is when we do not validate, as ridiculous as something that we're receiving may seem, always err on the side of caution and validate it. And here's why. When we validate it, Spirit will let you know if you're wrong. Trust me, they're really good at doing that. But if you don't validate it, you just put a stop sign up. They can't keep coming through now because you invalidated them. Crucial, crucial, crucial. Ergo, my statement, receive, believe. Secondly, absolutely, we all have teams, We have various cosmic teams, map teams, and medical assistance programs. So there's a generic map team that is responsible for all souls. And then we each have our own map team that is responsible for us and the healing of our body and those that we can also work with. The map team, we are serving them in assisting healing others. We have extraterrestrial teams, they're, yes, you heard that. Yes, yes, yes. We are living amongst many different types of extraterrestrials, and they are here truly to assist us. My main guides, Pleiadians, that's my peep. That's where I come from. That's what I do. So the healing capacity that Tiffany has described that I am engaging in and offering to assist all souls is direct delivery from Pleiadian energy. But everyone has different teams that they work with. We have archangel teams. There are 9 orders of angels. We have a team in each one of those 9 orders of angels. We have ascended master teams. We have an exorbitant amount of assistance from the other side that our doubt and our not feeling worthy prevents us from connecting with. And again, that's where these classes and these certificates and things that you do, we connect you, we channel for you until you finally recognize, I deserve this. I'm here to do this myself. It's already in me. But yes, there are a tremendous amount of teams that we work with. And in your meditations or daily life, you should be communicating with them. You should be invoking them. You should be offering your gratitude and offering yourself to serve them. whether you're a healer or not. It doesn't matter whether you're doing nothing in this realm. The fact that you're watching this podcast means you're in this realm and this is where you belong. And now it's time to awaken. What's your next step?
And what is your next step? Yes. Oh, I love this conversation so much, Sandy. I feel like I'm hoping that those people that are sitting right now listening to this, that they are just feeling that power start to course through them, to remember themselves as this empowered being that can hold this type of space. And like, you have a job to do. Like, you have a job to do. And it
But,
is your, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No.
So, we have scripts, and the journey that we chose to live this lifetime as a human, the reason why we're here is to start to learn how to live here and exist here in the energy that exists on the other side. So we have scripts. What are the scripts? The scripts are what the external world tells us. The scripts are the emotions that we chose to come in to work through. For instance, I'm not good enough. I'm too heavy. I don't deserve. Those scripts have been developed by you for you to change them. Neuroplasticity. When I work with individuals, I help open up space, and we can all do this so that we rewrite those scripts. We must replace lower vibrational thought and emotion with higher vibrational. That's step number one. If we don't do that, and that's not our intent, and we don't think it, we're not manifesting it, and we can't create it. Those changes are the changes that are soul contracts that you're releasing, that you're working through. It's all neurocognition, but we have to recognize this script doesn't serve me. It's not bringing me into the highest vibration. It doesn't matter that a magazine tells me that, oh, I should look like this. It doesn't matter that perhaps someone in my family has told me that I'm not worthy, or someone outside. All of that, or those rather, are scripts that we are here to rewrite. And rewriting that means, we go into a higher ascension, which is one of, oh, okay, we are loved. We are in this universal energy. I have all these teams. I am here to serve. That's another part of this. And that's another part of what I know Tiffany does with energetics, spinal energetics. That's another part of what I help you do to bring you into awareness. But it has to be done, or you become energetically stagnant and you don't ascend. You stay where you are.
And we don't want to do that.
No, we don't.
We don't.
No, we don't. Absolutely not. Stamp that out.
Yeah. Oh, Sandy, I love this conversation. I keep saying it because it's an empowering conversation, and we want to empower you guys. And here's how we want to further this empowerment. So what's so exciting is that Sandy and I are teaming up, and we are bringing you a really beautiful program that is going to be centered around the healer's ascension. Okay, like leading you and guiding you through releasing the garbage that is in the way of your highest and the highest capacity of healing that you can hold, right? That highest energetic that you can hold for others, and start leading you there, because you have to. That's part of your contract here, right? Like, that's part of it. If this is we're talking to you, if this is like hitting, this is for you. This class is for you. So we're coming together to help you to open up that space, and then also to guide you through some really great tools that you can use in your own healing process. And then, of course, we're going to have you practice. We're going to have you practice it all. And this program is really put together with so much love, so much intention. And we kept circling back around it and circling back around it to make sure, even before we jumped on this podcast, it was like, okay, we're getting this. This is coming through from spirit. That's coming through from spirit, right? To really hone in and help you to hold space in the highest capacity that you can. Sandy, do you want to speak to it?
Yeah, sure. I'm actually kind of like really excited about this. As you know, Tiffany, it's kind of rare that I'll work with people That says a lot about Tiffany because I'm very
Thank
flexible.
you.
Spirit gives me the yes, and I go, okay. But I'm kind of excited about this because, I wish that earlier on that there was something like this for me to attend much earlier on. A lot of what's going to happen is we want to work with those of you that do work in this realm already. And we want to take you to the next level. I mean, there is a guarantee you are moving and you're going to ascend. There will be, and I don't want to give away what's happening in the class, but there will be activation. There will be direct channeling that is specific to you and what you literally need to work through. And we'll also be teaching some methodology that we use, and I'll give you a little hint like medical intuition and things like that. So this is a huge intent class, and it's not, not just a 2 hour class. It's going to be a long, intense process. But I'm not going to say much more than that. I have to go. Nope.
Yeah, I think the medical intuition part too, guys, like all of the things, yes, we're going to be walking through those, the releasing and then this activation, which let me say something. If you have not gotten an activation by Sandy, ooh, you're in for a treat. Okay. It's so beautiful. And the activations that come through Sandy are just, they're on another level, which is the point of this whole thing that we're doing. But then to have some tools to be able to use within your own practice and to understand things a little bit deeper, that's what we're really going to lead you through. We're really, really excited to bring this to you. Here's the deal. You can head on over to spiritandsoulstudio.com and you can get on the wait list for this program. It's really going to be an experience and an up level for sure. So we're excited to bring this to you. Cannot wait. Sandy, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you. I value and just love you so much. So thank you, thank you. And how can everybody follow along with what you're doing?
Yeah, so I mean, come take a look at my website. It's a Facebook page and Instagram. I am Soul Alchemy and Ascension.com, and that's where you can find me. And also, and I know Tiffany's been there once a month. In fact, this Friday night, the 12th, once a month I do an in-person meditation. And that meditation is me literally channeling the other side, delivering them to you and everyone that's in that group. Truly, there's an evolvement of your soul. You evolve literally because you're there to accept that energy. So, listen, got nothing to do on Friday night. You don't have show tickets, you're not hanging out, you're not babysitting. Come down to meditation. It's actually in Huntington. But you can find all the information on my website. And I thank you, Tiffany, for allowing me to do this. And with us, it's like we're just having a regular conversation all the time.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm used to this. Thanks. And I look forward to, guys, I look forward to meeting you in this offering. Trust me when I tell you, you will move leaps and bounds. Trust me. You're working in this realm, man, are we going to take you to a higher level? And it's a smaller group. This is intense, so it's a smaller group. So I look forward to meeting all of you.
All right. All right, guys, I want to hear from you. So tell me, you can reach out on Instagram at Spirit and Soul Studio. What was your biggest takeaway? What was your biggest takeaway from this conversation? How are you going to start showing up in a bigger way for your own healing, for the healing of others, and holding that space for people? I want to hear from you. So let me know, send us a DM. Excited to hear from you, and make sure you get on that wait list. Okay. You can DM us that as well. All right. Get me on the wait list and you will be there. I will guarantee you that. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode and joining us on this episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. See you next time.
Bye.